Hello techies, I'm Divya here. On behalf of CyberBrainer, don't you think the world of tech is evolving faster than ever? Now is the perfect time to dive in and build the skills that will take you places. With CyberBrainer, we are putting you in the driver's seat of your own future. We at CyberBrainer don't just teach your interest. We believe that knowledge is power, but it's applied knowledge that truly sets you apart. Whether you're diving into data science, mastering artificial intelligence, or exploring the world of cybersecurity, our courses are designed to give you the skills that matter. So let's jump into the session and make the future yours today. Thank you.
How do we create requisitions? Now, are you aware what is term requisitions? Requisition. No requisitions are if I heard it wrong. Or is it requisite? See, I'm just asking, is it requisitions or requisitions? I'll tell you. The company has a company buyer. Now this company buyer role is to procure the items for team and company. The new hires are coming. We know about it. This person would be raising a requisition to buy new laptops or get them on lease from the supplier if we need some party material. Then this guy or this person would be raising requisition to source these items from the supplier, which later on would be going through a purchase order approval process, review process and on. Today we will be going through a complete cycle of procurement. What will happen is, first we will raise our acquisition. Yes, as I was saying, that go through a complete cycle. Now, what is a complete cycle here? That first the company buyer or the authorized person or raise a requisition that I want these items. This is the reason. These are the cost centers work tag all this information. They will raise in this way. Now, that would be sourced through a purchase order. In many companies, we have a policy called no P or no pay. Have you heard this term no P or no pay? No. What does it mean is no? I'll tell you. What does it mean? Is that if your team has not raised a purchase order for the items you have purchased, you will not be paid for that. Simple as that. Without purchase order, companies do not process supply invoice payments. Supply invoice has to be linked to a purchase order, then only the purchase order. They will process the payment, even you missed it. You have to raise a purchase order for that, and then only it will be paid to the supplier. Now, once we raise a requisition, what we do is we create a purchase order through a method called source goods and service regulations. Through that method, we would be creating a purchase order now. With that purchase order, we would be, after it gets reviewed, approved. See the business process in a second, in a bit. After it gets reviewed, approved, everything, it's an approved status. We would be issuing this purchase order to the supplier because that is the only way supplier will come to know what items we need. Then supplier will acknowledge that, yes, I'm fine with this items. I can deliver it to you because I deal in this kind of product. Then that would be done. Acknowledgement is done. Now, supplier will send the item, ship the items to our company location, isn't? I'll explain a different way also, but from corporate terminology, I'm explaining. You then apply, send the items to you. And once the supplier send the items, what to? Create a receipt that yes, we have received the items. Once we create the receipt, the supplier will say, buddy, you got the items, fair enough. Now let me raise a supplier invoice because I want the money now. Then supplier will send his invoice to us, for which we would be creating a supplier invoice in our system in Workday. The process same we did yesterday. Invoice. Once supply invoice is created, it will be processed for payment through settlement run. Once the supply invoice is paid and work is done, go back to purchase order and close the purchase order because it's not required anymore now that PO work is done. Any doubt? Question on this cycle? No, all good, yes. In same way, if you see your daily life, we look at our lives on daily basis. We have Misho, Mintra, Amazon, Flipkart. Isn't it we follow the same cycle? We go to the websites, we look at the catalogs, we choose an item, maybe a daily dress, a new cloth, new shirt, new pajamas, meet anything. We add it to our cart. Isn't it we had to cart and at the checkout we just pay for it? Then supply and say, I was a business. Say I received the payment. Here is your invoice. And I would be shipping this item in 10 days from now. Then they will start notifying you whenever they have shipped the items. They've packed the items. They have delivered the items to you. They will start notifying you. I kind of think. Then, once they have shipped the items, you will receive it. If it's cash and delivery, what you will do? You'll pay the cash. It's already paid. It's prepared. Fair enough. No issues at all. In corporate world, what happens? It doesn't. We don't pay cash upfront until it's a supplier where you have to make the payment on. The spot are prepaid, but typically we get 90 days, 120 days from supplier to pay our invoices because that's how the cash management cycle works. The more cash you hold, the better chances of getting your revenue faster. Because if you are paying late and you're getting money faster from customers, that's a big win. You are sitting on a cash pile, and that's what every company does. They pay their suppliers later on after 30 days, 60 days from getting the items and goods, but they get the money from customers fast. That's methodology, treasury teamwork. Is it clear with the simple example now? Maybe it's not clear, but I'll just share. If it going forward just started. I'll show this to you in system, then it will you understand this. I'm going to 10. Thank you. I'm up there now. First, assign the security of all these business processes to us. We can directly start transactions. Now, where is that? First, do the requisition BP check. If you look at the BP, there are 9 steps in it. Once it's initiated, it will be approved by a manager, then call center manager a project, controller, service coordinator, and many more things. Now what roles we need to assign controller? Maybe we have already assigned. Just take it once. Business tracking specialist initiator, buyer. Listen to this person only by now. Only we need to assign buyer only. I believe that you can initiate this. Click on this 3 dots business process policy view. And checkout can be done by buyer, and all this is perfect. Buyer role we will assign it to Bala. Controller is already assigned to Teresa Serrano. Go to our company. What's the company name? Amazing. Transcommunications. Yes, buddy. Spot on. You guys are doing amazing work here. Keep the effective data as yesterday. I to do this back. And you should have a controller to reassess on here. Just assign buyer role here. And assign it to Bala. Now check the purchase order. BP purchase order. This is purchase order. Event business process. There are 7 steps here. Once it's initiated, it will go to supplier. Contract specialist. If it is from supplier contract non-recognition PO, it will go to manager. Cost center manager, project manager, controller. We just need to see who needs to assign. Who can initiate this? Business process policy view. Again, buyer service printer buyer already. Assigned. That's fine. Control is already there. Then check receipt supply invoice. We already have the access, no need to check supply invoice. Eight steps initiative manager, purchase, auto buyer, business account and APD and description is fine. Good enough? Let's see, we're going to initiate this. Retro sitters buyer, amazing, this guy can do it. Now, after checking all the BPs and the security rate and role assignment, what do is we have to do a little bit of configurations here, which is a purchase order print layout. We would be printing the PO. We would be sending it to the supply. We would need a layout. Now this layout or the PO copy is typically designed by the integration folks using tool called Workday Studio. In Workday Studio, they go and then they pull the data from this report, Workday report. Then they design that data and that PDF in the Workday Studio tool and put it back in the Workday. That's a very big cycle and configuration. We'll not get into that. But I'll just tell. Have to issue a purchase order to supply to issue it. It should be in PDF format. In PDF format, how do we create it? Through this task, create purchase order. Print out. And go to companies. What are company name? Now in business form layout, I'm already selecting an existing value here, but it would be already built by the integration team. Then only we can use it. I'll just type purchase order here and then you will see in a minute how does it look. Let me just select custom purchase order and done. Does it say category buyer? Let's see what that role is, not a role based security, then see that. Discard, go to the BP. Once a copy a Levitt presentation when and step. And truth, whatever the matter. It's the top 3 we have selected. we assigned. Now we look at the system and it should be with the Zosan. Now we are in the section of source goods and services acquisition. And please do this. Item fulfillment source is through a purchase order. Purchase type, if you want to define this one-time purchase. Look at the details here once all looks good. And look at the details now. There should be a PO now along with this requisition now. If it is successfully completed, which is good. Now, if we scroll towards, we should see a purchase order. Source for purchase order. And here is a purchase order we have. This is approved. Now as we go to PO, the next thing is issuing the PO to the supplier. Otherwise, how the supplier will come to know what items you need? It's still with you only. Unless you don't issue this to a supplier, they will never come to do. What to? Click on 3 dots. Purchase order. And say issue. Look at the details here. Don't refresh. This is the pure copy. Now it's a general template. In real world, it will be more colorful and detail oriented. It's available here. Go back, click the video, and it has been issued to this email. Once it's issued, and issued to this email ID, what you have to do is, what happens if you just technically see? You have sent the purchase order to the supplier. Now what the supplier will do? First, if you see technically see, he will acknowledge it. That yes, I acknowledge I have this item and I can deliver it. Isn't it? If you see here, he will acknowledge. Then he will give acknowledgement number that this is my acknowledgement number. Either he will fully accept, fully reject or partially accept. Let's say fully accept here. They also have access to all this. What do you say, no, or is it through email? No, Freddy, I'm not able to hear it clearly. Man, can you please come in? I'm asking. Would they acknowledge by email? Or how it would be yes, they will acknowledge by email. Yes, image. And then you'll get all these details that this is the acknowledgement number. And accept it and all these things. This is accepted that yes, it's done. Once he acknowledged that yes, I will send these items, what will happen is in access, he will ship it. We get an advance ship notice. Contact. Let's say there's a Serrano shipment, different DTDC. Supplier reference number. Reference number mentioned in this ship notice is fully shipped at this date. This time he has shipped the items. Then you get all the details here, lots of information. It is inventory module. A coordinate item. Identifiers if any for this one. Others keep it simple and just hit submit. Again, it will come to review. But as I said, I will review the details. Approve it. Now it's fully shipped. Tracking still is accepted. All the details are captured here in this. Now what do is, this is acknowledgement just to show you. Acknowledgement. Nobody is this that yes, you will accept and then you will send this item. Now once it's acknowledged, once it's shaped, supplier will send the items. Once we receive the items, what we do? We create a receipt. In the system that, yes, we have received items. What to? Get a receipt here. Did we receive all the items? Yes, if you receive few, don't click on this fully received. Checkbox, you uncheck it and you mention the quantities that you have received. Suppose, out of 10 you have received 526, only that fully received. All the details here. This is created, issued, fully received, accepted. Once we have received the items, what will happen next? Supplier will send the invoice to us. See supply invoice. Then invoice receive date, let's say the date itself. Supplier document receive yes. Supplier invoice number in his PDF. Remember in his PDF? This is the number. Look at the details here. Quantity to invoice is 10. Quantity order is 10. Quantity order invoice is 0. Amount to invoice. Amount order is 1000. Here all the details. Let's look at carefully submit. View details. Mass unpaid. This is done now. If you see the invoice here, you have this view here. Thank you. It's issued fully invoiced, fully received, accepted. Now, once you pay the supply invoice, I'll show you the payment part later on. Once you pay the invoice, what you will do? You will come here, 3 dots purchase, order close. You will give closing reason here. Longer needed. The full invoice received, accepted and closed. What you can do with the closed one? Let's click on 3 dots. Copy, non-attachment fit, delivery version, reopen lines. View purchase order, change. Accounting view account. General sources, purchase order, other expenses too. Reserve for spend obligations. These are the details here. Any doubts, questions? Once we have a contract, we have a contract. Chart doing continuously, though it seems to be a bit lengthy. In terms of what, can you please come again? I mean to say, once we have hands-on, no continuously doing. It then, we will not forget the steps, but just I saw, know it. Is having a lot of requisitions everything. It is having, we have to. Go to this step, to remember each step is as of now, it is a bit. It will take some time, but once you start practicing now, everything will be cinched up. One by one, you will learn everything. Now, proxy. Add some point of contact for our supplier. What should we do? We will go to our supplier. This is approved. We will go to contact information. All the details here. We will go to supplier context. Click on add here. Add 2, 3 people here. Let's say think of a unique name. Suffix if you want junior, senior, if you want to add that. If it's also contact information. Let's at least add one email here for that person. Say rocker at. Gmail type would be. This will be used for home and work. Add one phone number. You can use existing phone also. You will need to add a new one. The type would be a homework. This will be used for billing and shipping things. Address also add. Use existing address here. And this would be. Now we hit add one more here. Prefix is miss contact information, or you can add your own form. Attestation. Thank you. We've got 2 people here. Let me think of anything else we need to add. Classification we may have added. Some results. Let me think. Anything else? Get recognition again. And supplier connections. We will come to this little later on. We will come to this little later on. Questionnaire responses. I think this is available here. Where that is that. We will see supplier referred not now later on. I want to do something else here. Additional data, I will show you. Additional data part also. It's an amazing thing. Now I will show you one. Little advancing, if you see here, technically we do not have the access to change the hue of anything in Workday typically, but there is little bit loop kind of quality where they have given you that access to do some changes, minor changes, not major changes. For example, I see this overview tab here, then contracts and purchase order invoices, and payment supply connections. I can move them little bit here and there. How? I'll show you. There's a task called create profile. Let's see if this guy. We are in the balance. Maybe he doesn't have access. Let's talk. I'll show you how you can do it a little bit here and there. This one, come on. Should I access? Don't flip it, fall through. This one, the button file. This, all the areas where I can make changes of company, I can do something. Composite report definition, I can do something. Lot of areas are there. I'll put supplier here. These are the areas where you can make changes. I'm looking for supply invoice work area, supply invoice management area, supplier composite view profile. Again, you can do this on supply invoice also. I'll say supply control view profile. Overview supplier control view profile. Now I see this summary. Free funding information, supplier contacts, payment details, and everything. Now let's just show you that it looks this only. Look at the supplier. And let's say the supplier wants it. Any supplier will work. We get summary. Supplier contact pay per view details under overview tab. We are under the overview tab for supplier compatibility. First we see summary contact information supplier contact. I can change the order now. Watch carefully. I'll move this contact information first and move summary to the second. Refresh the page here. Now see, contact information is appearing first and summary as the second. Similarly, you can move these tabs also. And this also you can move. Any doubt with this one? About this task note. Now it's a straightforward using this task called quantitative profile group. Profile group. We can move the orders of the tab again. You can rename it, you cannot. Say contact information in PPC, Reliance, Education, but you can move the tabs here and there. Up and down. Now stop. And stop box C now. See supplier contracts. I think we are already assigned the role. Just let's look at it once. We've got 3 steps. We're going to supply content, specialist and roller. Let's see who can initiate. What do? Go to the task called paid supplier contract. And companies are. It's easy any first of all. If I go further on this, you're aware about the term called supplier contract. It's a contract with the supplier that on monthly basis. You would be sending 10 laptops, 20 laptops or 10,000 liters of coffee, tea, food items. Or you will clean our buildings on monthly basis, or you will be delivering electricity, diesel to generators. It's a simple contract with the supplier that on monthly basis, daily basis, weekly basis, quarterly basis, you will deliver this and that goods and services. Clear? Amrita, you are doing that term. Interesting. Amrita knows more than us. It's just trying to make sure that, yes, what is corporate term? In your existing system, Amrita, how does it work? Where do you use it? Whatever tool you're using now in your company. How does it work for you? We are working on HCS and SEP. And how does it real time works? You get supplier contract. You sign a PDF document that you have. For that, signing the contract, and all we are using Ariba and Doc to sign for that. Great, see similar function, have supplier. Contact from supplier contact will get purchase order. Again from purchase order we'll get a receipt. We'll get supplier invoice with the acknowledgement, advance sheet, notice and on. Then later on, I'll show you the individual task also. Now do this. Again, just requisition types, purchase order types. We have a supplier contract type also. And for now, multi-supplier, multi-things, I will say it's a purchase contract. And if you open this in new tab and try to, at least few of them for a demo for sessions, maintain. As we can see, we can give a name, a description and see the list of it, never ending many. Contract types here, scheduled invoices should be purchase orders, manual invoices, manual purchase. Orders allow control to receive contract lines that, if you see you have this building, is which you can schedule the invoices. You have finance fees, fixed payment. You have IFRS and many more things. When these apply this, you can see the probability and possibility of creating many contracts for many reasons. Almost they have covered everything here. Now if I just create one, let's say RLCC schedule invoices. Even if you practice, you can just imagine how many are there. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All of the 16 contract types. You can create 16 different types of supplier contract, and from that you can imagine different fields will be there. Different features will be there. What to practice? It's unlimited. Everywhere you can go and have different options over there. I'll just share green voices here. Now watch carefully once I do it. It does. Remove other checkboxes and just keep few here. You can mark it as financial fees, operating fees. Still with this option, or manual purchase orders or allow catalogs that. I will not click any of them and I will just select it. I will just select Reliance Schedule, invoice only. Same item select here. And then let's see what happens. It's not coming up. Fine, use purchase contract for now and then come back to it. Why we're not able to use it? Create blanks, apply contract for now because we have not created a supply contract for and meet our context first. Is this buyer? Is this who is buying the item for the company? Contract type is purchase contract, contract name, say LLC single. Contact references new network towers. The status starts from November 2024, contact sign on November 2024, ended then 31st 2024. Contact among us. Let's check the topic box. We want to read text code here. Payment terms. Let's say I'll select one here. Let's give some discount. Let me present them in 30 days. Contact overview. Find new towers. Hours. If you want to write it from catalog and on, you can do it otherwise. Click plus button here. If you are adding a service, if you are signing up for a service, just go to service and add that service line here. Otherwise, simple click line number. You can add multiple entries on limit 10, 15, 30, 40, whatever you want to add. I'll just keep one here. Spend getting me put tower here, network towers, and I'll just say 12 here. Each, which was this, I'll just make it $1,000. It can match with the supplier contract total amount, start date and end date of this. Now one contract can have multiple lines, for example, few lines. Now give me a scenario where few lines will work for a month, few lines will work for another month, and few lines will work for another month. I can give you many examples, but can you think of one? It might be what we say, different type of office supplies itself might be computers. And then anything required for it might be some light settings or wires cables. That's Anna Rita, what about you? One example could be you are selling a contract with a clothing brand and you have different lines here, one for a season of June to March, where you would be buying this woolen clothes, heavy jackets and everything. The next line from April to June at t-shirts, light clothes, normal clothes. Then from June to July, June to August and September, you're buying raincoats and everything. This you can have multiple items for multiple reasons. And then you can put them in hold. They cannot be built. No multiple lines. Just click on this on board means they cannot be useful processing peers and everything. I have a question. If we have not, do we have to decide it how many lines we will need in future? No. We can edit it after if you want to come back and add these lines here. Currently what exactly we are doing. Quarterly can also be added, no lines. We can add the contact line, but suppose you are entering into a contract later on. You want to change the details. You can come back and then change it. See that? Because sometimes that travel plan or something that they will also have this per month or maybe quarterly basis. They will have this thing. Sure, absolutely. Just by coming again the same issue here. We are giving the date as 024. Maybe the address, what we have here, is not effective for this 1st of January. What we'll do, we will go to our company, we will go to the where. It is funding information. Add it and see this is effective of this. Let's see now we have to look for. You have submitted and this is done. I'll go back here. Come on, man. Let me take some time now. That's not coming here. It should be take maybe the effective date issues here. come back to this later on. And we will. Let's submit for now. Again, we got unassigned. Let's see what happened. Supplier Contract Specialist. We assigned this role. How come it can be unassigned? Miles proxy is running here. There we go. Approve it. The supplier contract is approved. She cannot do anything. We have to stop proxy. We can supply complex. This is done. Click on three dots. Supplier contract cannot do anything. You can change it. We are going to change here or amend supplier contract. Let's do amend first. Amendment type. That's a changer extension, renewal, termination to change. Here I'm going to. Mandate is this data number is contract. Yet here sign because it's not easy. You cannot make changes that. You would be discussing. This is a supplier. First, somebody would be proven internally on this. And then, yes, it would be done. Sign it. Just restate it. And now you can add more lines here. Line number 2 spend category. That's the cadence of this for now. That's a bad. That's a sports shoes. That's fine. You want to wear sports shoes. But remember, either you have to change the contract total amount. If you're not doing that, it will be an issue. It's already 12,000 here. Suppose you want to change this to 6 here. Now it's 6. And here you can also do 6. Again, each and again say 6,000. My bad one. Now it will balance, and again you can say start date of this. Given 0 to the phone. I can give any date you want. I am just randomly picking up this date here. Again, it has to be reassigned. I'm not sure why it's not going to address a server on directly, but check that out. We're going to start proxy. Supply content amendment, upload it. Unless she can't do anything, we will stop proxy. And login as ball again. Between supplier. Purchase order contract, same thing do now. We have seen this part. What? Do now create a purchase order. You can say document date is 0121. Purchase order. Type say one-time purchase. Now you have the option to create a purchase order out of this. Many lines. Either you can create a purchase order for both of them or just one line. Let's say sports shoes. Then you have to mention the quantity. Here I want to create a purchase order. They're not buying, let's say, entire 6 shoes now. I'll just say I'm buying only one for now, and it's win 1000. It will come this acknowledgement is expected. It's checked here. Watch other details carefully. It's coming from supply contract. These are the ship to address, ship details. Only one item. We are ordering 1000 each. Due date of this is, let's say, Zafevi 12224. Location cost center. If you want to add any ship to address. It was our company. Demands and patience. Why it's not reflecting here? That's pretty. 024, we had given the data. Come to this for now. I'll select this address. Try to resolve this in next class. Why it's not appearing up? I should come here, done the effective date changes also, but it should be there but. See that shift to contact person. Even Jen is not coming. We have to figure it out as maybe they affected it too. But if I forget for any reason, submit. Went to Amitesh Namurti, same process. This PO will be reviewed and approved. Thank you. This, you see all the details. Again, it went through some other course. Let's turn it to. Start proxy. Thank you. The approved. Again, do the same thing. Let me brief you about the reporting structure in Workday. In Workday, there are two kinds of reports. One is Workday delivered and one is custom reports. Delivered reports are the ones which they created and poured into this tenant and any tenant by Workday itself. Custom reports are the ones which we create as the standard report doesn't fulfill the requirement. Now, how do we figure it out? How do we find out standard report? First of all, the task is pretty easy, guys. It's Workday's standard reports, and anyways, you'll be getting that PDF. It's almost 200-page PDF document you would be getting. And in that you would see everything about the reporting structure. I'll tell you about that. First, if you type here about this standard report, and if you type supplier, just type supplier, purchase order procurement, see the keywords about the areas, select those areas, hit oh wow, then you can see they're handed in one reports available and delivered by worked. You can see 1099 at a going front action, find duplicate suppliers to be some tax. Item number, almost everything you think of possibly in day to day use. Supply can be this fusion group. 1099 group. You can see a ton of reports are there. Now you see this column, a type. It says report writer and express. Report writer. Reports are the reports which you can run, copy and schedule them. Which can run, copy and schedule them. Express reports are the reports which you can run, but you cannot copy them. Few of those reports, you can schedule them, but again you cannot copy them. See a good example of the report writer and express a report. If I run this report called trial balancer, which gives financial data of a company, put the company here, G measures and here. Let's say you can see 84 line cycle, and we can see the numbers here: debit, credit, beginning balance, ending balance, and many more things. Now, if you scroll up, you don't see three dots here, which is see this prompt. I click on this. I will be back to the report run page where I need to fill in the prompts. This is a classic example of express a report, which can run but cannot copy, or some of them are not scheduled. Now let's see an example of the report writer. Let's say I find supplier invoices. Let's say again JMS use here. Now you see, along with this prompt icon, we see three dots also. And what it says, standard report. And it gives you a copy. Option run, option schedule. Now are you clear with this first two options, copy and run? I want to ask what's wrong. Yes, now let me show you schedule part, what we mean by schedule. Click on that. Basically, you can schedule this report to run in the background on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, or customized. Recurrence also you can do. For example, if you say daily recurrence, now hit and these are the report prompts for which you can give the values here. GMS USA, I want to see GMS USA, and I want to see invoices on or after date as 0112, anything which is R24. I want to see those things now. In schedule tab, records. Every weekday means every day. Then start time. Let's say it's almost 7:37 p.m. now. If I go to 7 p.m. slot, if I select 7:40 here and it's for ICE, start date would be today's date. You can give maximum 1 year date from today. I'll just 25th for now example here, and output. Select what kind of output. I want the data in Excel format to be generated. For PDF or a text files to be deleted after. Number of days. Suppose it's in your inbox notification section. After 5 days it will be automatically deleted from that system. It can be managed. Otherwise, you will turn off notifications. Do not output an empty report when there is no data. Do not run this in the background. Hide prompt value. Whatever values I've given, do not show this to user. I'll show you a glimpse of it. Shares report out of the users. Also, it's Teresa Sinano. Logan me. Or you can put the security groups also here. Then click on the side. It's just a little. We're just 2 minutes away from seeing this. Patient section. But any doubts? Questions till now? It is auto. Whatever schedule we do, recording, it is auto scheduled and it is sent out. If we schedule, data will be delivered to the person's notification section. On what? Is there an option? They can receive it on email. Yes, you have to enable the email notification for that. It can be done. We can see this here. Here can we do it? In Workday, I will show you in Outlook. It's not possible. Because you have to enable the email settings. I don't want to do that. There is somebody else's tenant. That person may get in trouble. No, actually we can do that also. Just asking, can we do that? We can do that. Outlook, no. Be there. Data will be delivered to your Outlook as now I'll show you start proxy. If I go back to my notification section here, see my spline was data is available. And here's your data. What are the number of column and reports would be there in this? It will be visible here. And you see, the data is here. Data is here. Whatever data in universe which was there after first. To the rate it's available here. This you can clear with the schedule code. Now it can. But they remove the files. I have to create them. Let's stop. Now let's say we want to create a custom report for ourselves. We have a standard report called Find Supply Invoices, but somehow the client requirement is not getting fulfilled by that particular report. Now we have to be little smart here. Either we can build that report from scratch. Column names here and there could be different, but suppose I have to build that report from scratch. It would take ages because everything I have to do from scratch. Now what I'll do, I have a functionality called copy Workday standard report or just types to report here. Here, give that report name which you want to copy. I'll just say points of line points. You can name it whatever you want. We can say find supplier invoices. General, something that not click on this Optimus performance. I'll tell you about this later on. Then you get several tabs here and see system has copied all the fields which were there. In the standard report. Now what do is we can take out certain fields if you don't need them. This plus means you want to add something. This minus means you want to delete some. Let's say I'll not. I don't want this Excel IPO number. I'll get rid of that. Then share tab. Now we've got three options here. First option says don't share report definition, means apart from me. No one should be having access to this report. Second option says share with all authorized users, means whoever has the access to this data source. They should be able to run this report. Now, how do we know? Whoever has the access to this data source. Click on the data source, three dots here, and look for the security group. All the security groups have the access of this data source, and whatever report has been built on this data source, they would be able to access it until we have restricted that person. That's what it means. Third option, share with specific authorized groups and users, means that out of this, 25 plus security groups. I can run the reports on this data source. Or Who can access the report built on this report, out of which I want to define only few people log on manual. It's a group. Accounts, people analysts. Here we can define the end group. I can't see the analyst accounts people manager. It's not there. And the accounting manager will be a data specialist, and in this authorized user you can define the name. There is a Sereno working mechanism. And then filter and sub-filter are pure Excel things. Pure Excel things. We are filtering out this data. We are saying for this field document payment status. That should be in this selection. List means prompt. User means let the user decide what document payment status they want to see. All the default prompt means it's running when you are running the report. I'll tell you about this also. For now, I'll just say it here. And run, and then you got all this. See, now I got many prompts here. Companies, suppliers, business, all those things. What if I don't want to see many prompts? My target is just to see invoice date, company supplier, invoice status. That's all. I don't want to see several problems, or my client doesn't want to see several problems. What we do? Then click on report. Definition. Go to prompt section. There are 22 prompts I want to see. Now, for that purpose, click on the second column checkbox here, which says do not prompt it, run. Do not run this. At runtime, what we do is click on supplier hierarchy, and I don't want to see supplier status also. I don't want to see the conversion. I want to see it's an old. No, I don't want to see that. Is entered on the tournament. That's only noise. Due date. That I'll slip you here. Now see this have reduced from what? People seeing earlier. Any doubts, confusions? That earlier that alert, something was coming up, popping up. Why was that? What was coming out alert something on the side? No. Something. The fields are not indexed and may cause the report. Run slowly is intercom. There's a field called intercompany, which is there in this report. And if you're using it, it may cause slow run in the report. That's what it means. You can take out this thing. That's an alert only. It's not mandatory to take it out. That's fine, we can ignore this. That was if we have to copy this report, that was the easiest thing. And now you have enough time in the world and you want to create something from scratch. For that, to create all kind of custom reports, you have a task called create custom report. Here you will give a name. Let's say what was the supplier name. Reliance Communications. RLC. RLC. RNC is a company. Half kg almonds to anyone who will tell me the client name. Hello Reliance or something that. No something that. The name guys. It was now. You have to send those up to my home now. Those are hello complications. Now remember. I was closing. But not clear, not still new almonds. How do you supply invoice data? Thank you. Now we have several different types of reports here. Advanced composite metrics. In financial world, the three key report types we always use is advanced composite and metrics. I will show you advanced, probably one example of composite matrix also quickly. Now let me select supplier invoice here. Now I'll screen share here and we got three options here. Again, don't share for definition. Share with authorized user. We always keep share with authorized user until list is mentioned by the client that it should be shared with specific person or group. Then advanced. Go to advanced step and click on this enable save parameter. I will show you what's the use of this. And freeze first column, just pure Excel thing. You freeze the first column. If there are multiple columns in the report and you're scrolling towards, the first column would always be freeze. I'll show you the benefit of this. Now see everything you have to do from scratch. Everything, there are no problems. Fields here, let's start doing that. First of all, what we need, let's say, we need invoice number. Let's say supply, invoice number. That's it now. There are two sub-invoice number. One is supply invoice number and one is invoice. What's the difference between this and this? Any guesses? Invoice number. Is it the one that we is traded by ourselves and the supply invoice? Number is the one that they provide. Little bit different. Not just we enter. It's what Workday gives us. There's no secure in the netter. And this is what suppliers send in their PDF. People get confused. We don't have to get confused. We have to say invoice number. Then what we need? We need a company. We need a supplier. a company supplier, and what do you think could be other? Think about this. Visualize a supplier invoice in your head and give the field names. 30, 40 fields. I want you to think about it. Let's just imagine a supplier invoice. You have gone through far. What fields you see? We see invoice amount, correct. This was a total invoice amount. There should be a field called total invoice amount. Then let's say net invoice amount. Then let's do amount. As a reporting date, then invoice date, then due date. Then let's say a supplier document received. It's a document received. You can say invoice status. Now use one feature here, invoice status. Now I want to move this invoice status little bit up. What I'll do? I'll use this triangle with an arrow line here. And it will immediately shoot this field to the top. Now I'll bring it down. Now it's fine. Invoice number, invoice status, this good number of fields I've added here, and I think I'm good to share. Company was reporting date as of date. I want to on 3.intern24. Now this enables save parameter here. I'll just give my company name here. Let's see. 16 voices. This is please. This is please. Talking about the sign, talking about the amount and reporting, date and voice rate. Enjoying this. Any doubts, questions? Roll all these steps. Or this what we are doing now, would it be provided? I say because there are a lot of steps for each of the store waiting invoice or for setting up a supplier. That is a PDF or something that we don't remember the steps, because just an example, if whatever currently in our procurement field, what we are doing. We are having multiple softwares, Higgs, the app and all those things. We are setting up a supplier in Higgs. Higgs is considered as a Workday software, I would say. Accordingly, here also if we get a work this, we need to remember the steps. Some sort of PDF we provided wherein we don't forget it. You can go according to. What do you say? This automatically comes from your experience. I remember all these feelings because I'm working on this in and out on daily basis, multiple times. Even you did it. If somebody asks me to write an SQL query, I have no clue about that. Where select, joint all those things. I'll get nuts. I can't do it. Similarly, as you're not practicing for now, once you start practicing, This will be easy. Easy anything, just learning ABCD. That day I was just trying to put the keywords. Some I was not getting that keywords. No, it was not coming up. By pressing enter, it is not showing. I was wondering should be put to the correct keywords. Or how is it? Which keywords you are putting? I was trying to see this requisite. No, that day we learned about requisite. The shortcut keywords. Yes. See, it's easy. You just go there. What will you use on daily basis? For example, let's go to that. You would not be using worker for sure, BZP. Job you would not be using. Can you not using? Absence calculation you would not be using. Then absence panel. All these are each stuff. For example, you would be using accounts, the step accounts. Accrual action or anything, for example, if you type action, anything, let's see, but learn new things. That's amazing, man. There's many things, see. I'll tell you one thing. You cannot learn everything in working we cannot be SMEs. In one of my interviews, what? I still remember that there was a director who was taking my interview. It's a matter of 4 or 5 months old story, I'm telling. At that time, I was looking for a job change. And he started asking me a lot of questions on procurement. Although I answered everything, suddenly he started asking me a lot of questions. Started asking me intercompany accounting. Now for this intercompany accounting, whatever I knew, because I had worked on the accounting side, I did work on the accounting, everything. But somehow he was asking more technical thing. He was a CP or something. I said, hey, buddy X, what? It's great you're asking these questions, but to be honest, I'm not. I have no clue what you're asking. And I have no clue which account will be debited, which account will be created. I know the functionality coding, which is APR. I'm not here to give the test of accountant. I'm giving an interview. I was very blunt to that guy. I'm giving an interview for the senior manager position. You are asking me questions which are relevant to my profile. I'll not be doing data entry here. I'll be managing the team 60-40 ratio. 6% managing the team and then 40% doing this task and everything. Managing project and everything. But I'll not be doing this. And on top of that APR in account posting rule. Everything is get detailed, oriented by the client itself. I don't have to worry about it. That gets tested through the UAT and CIT also. What are you trying to achieve here? Are you trying to see my skills on accounting? Or are you trying to see my experience as a overall on Workday? Then he was speechless for 2 minutes, but he did not utter a single word. Because that's not a fair thing to do. I may know several things in procurement on the supplier side that person would have no clue at all. Because I am working that domain as area on daily basis, I know many more things if I start asking him about the reporting fields, calculated fields, business of the he would have no clue. I guess I never appreciate the thing that if someone goes out of the league and start asking their preferred questions, you are there to see the skill set. Now Google has stopped checking your qualification. Facebook has stopped taking your qualifications. Now they don't. It doesn't matter if you're 10th class also. Do that. Matter doesn't look at your gym is now this education now. They want to know those things. What they want is how much passionate you are in learning. Something I'll ask. Some PhD in computer science application to do on Workday, he will have no interest in that. Because he likes coding. seeing the background, how it works, which language it uses, and all those things. He would never understand correlate the UI thing and functionality. I cannot ask an HR manager to tell me the procurement entries. Is it fair? Workday is very big, guys. There are 1,000 more than 800 business objects. Just imagine the number of fields, only more than 2 lakh. 3 lakh fields would be there. 20-minute task. More than 600 tasks will be there in the system. I'm asking those things to someone, even though it's fresher or not. A fresher doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. Isn't it? You don't have to worry about it. If you still don't remember anything, things will come with practice. I was showing you. What I did is I went to a report called Find Expense Reports. Here is that report name, Find Expense Reports. I just gave a company name which is GMS USA and had just written there. And after that I can see there are 32 expense reports. Then I have opened this expense report in a new tab here. And this is how it looks. Company paid prior balance cash at one supplier. Reimbursement total that. And here are the details. Now, this is a good example. How it looks, but see the business process first. Current expense report. And you can see there are 8 steps here, starting with the initiation, and if there's a conference expense that we've used, it will go back to initiator. Then there will be an action approve expense reports and backlines by call center manager. Then there are the step condition based on that call center manager, project manager, controller and on. Now this is what initiation, who can initiate this? Let's see. Create expense report can be done by a call you do yourself and by yourself. Create expense report for pre-hires. You can create expense report for pre-hires also, which are not hired yet. They are in the hiring process. Create expense report for applicant also. You can do that. Submit expense report for web service. Create expense report for worker. Create expense report for non-worker also. You can create. There's one error here that shows the error due to a change to the security. Group type is constraints for the business process. Type 1 or more security groups are now invalid for assignment on the business policy. Security policy enter the policy and remove the invalid groups. Now this becomes quite technical. Sometimes as we have to figure out who is not there, we have to see the I believe this is recruiter, but recruiter should be having access. Which group you think should have? Management chain manager. That is the only drawback. It doesn't tell you immediately which security group, just says there is one, there is one. Where is the one? Because the system knows there is one security group. They have checked internally. But they will not tell us that's the problem with them. What to is? Just keep it as this is for now and later if any area comes. You'll see that now we all know that we use expense reports for have hotels and airlines also. How do we configure hotels and airlines? It's super busy. Just type maintain hotels. You can see the vintage hotels. There are 26 hotels already. You have name here, your merchant code here. And merchant code is given by the merchant itself. Just need to enter the name and details here. This is how you set up the hotels. Similarly with the airline also. You will put the airline in the merchant code. And you're done. I'm not sure if this will bring that maintain airports. And you can put the value here. DXB is for Dubai, NYC is for New York, that you put the airport name, travel city, country, travel region, all these things you will put here. See, we need airport because if we are claiming for flight tickets, we need to say, this is the airline which I used to book my ticket and this is my ticket and this is the airport from two kind of locations. You will put that. From this airport to this airport, you are going and traveling, you need airport. That's why, and you need to put hotels also. You would be staying in hotels. You have to tell the system which hotel it was and the hotel, the airline, airport. Similarly, we have, if you go to this create expense report, you create expense item. We are talking about some pre-configuration before we hit the create expense report task. Item name, let's say wine bottles. Client events. I'm just attaching it to spending category. We have seen how to get a spend category. You can create it in your spare time. Now, expense policy group. What is an expense policy group? Certain items you can claim in certain countries also. For example, Sula Wines, this is an Indian brand. You could have used this in India also. India only. Let's assume this is an Indian thing. Only you could have used this Indian thing only. There are certain items which you have used in India. Only similarly you can create expense policy groups. For example, if I just use India here, and you can see I have added the expense items here in expense policy group. This item are for India on location only. Similarly, there are items which will say are for those particular region, location, whatever you want to call it. Now what we will do is expense item group. You can group them. Maintain expense item group. And you can create a group of those items: business travel, international travel, other expenses, dining expenses, that you can add the expense item group. Just say this was for business travel. How you will measure it? If in a text supplies, you will add it here, textable sales, all those things. If it's part of per diem, discover it later on. Enable travel journal, you have to write down what happened, why did you use this bottle, and all those things. Hide item. Item addition that will use for an hotel item. First create a basic one. If you want to mark it inactive for X reason, you can do it. Then actual amount is based, whatever actual amount is there for this item that you would be claiming. A calculation would be based on the expense rate table that see later on fixed max. Expense amount or none of the rules. It's none of the rules because that we typically use for hotels and airlines, that we will not use here currency in which this is used with the FUSD for now. And this is the text which will appear when people use this expense item, and expense report, this will appear. Hey guys, hi team, hi user or hi user. Let's say hi user. Please note that you cannot claim more than 2 bottles in an expense report. Please do read company expense policies. Rahul, whatever currently what we are doing is, it is generally similar to what expense report, as in if the person is on tour or he visited some other plant or something. Whatever they are spending there, that is, whatever they have spent already, it is related to that's. They can mention their flight, whatever cost or traveling cost, food and all, yes, they will be covering everything: hotel expenses, airline expenses or dining expenses. Normal expenses because we are going for company's behalf to meet clients. For sales calls, sales meeting, everything. Obviously that's a company work. The company work would be using our corporate credit card. And corporate credit card would be using for dining expenses, travel expenses, all those things. Then for this item, attributes. Now this will appear when we using this expense item. Let's say for this one you have to mention the business reason. Then you have to give the entertainment. Item food type hotel meals. You can see meals provided this. Number of persons that. This will appear. Then you have related word tax here. If you want to add some additional information here. Rate tables here, which is not now because we are not using. Then if you are creating something of mile expenses, for miles in US when you drive for office work. For one place or another, you can claim for the miles you have traveled, for the fuel. If that is the case, you can mention kilometer or miles in which you are creating this expense item. Basically, you will create the expense item as fuel, petrol, diesel, gas, whatever it is. And then you will say distance calculation would be based on the miles. Itemization mapping here. Talk about that later on. Any doubts, questions still here? No, nothing from my end. Looking good far. Now there is something called spend authorization. Spend authorization is a pre-approval thing where you are spending a lot of money. Submitting this some expenses that you think would be this much amount and that much amount to an approval, and then approver reviews it and then says fine with this expense and this expense amount, I am fine. You submit an expense report using this spend authorization. It's a pre-approval. Expense report doesn't get rejected. Now, if we talk about spend authorization, let's first see the BP. A pre-approval thing. That's all spend authorization. There are 6 steps here. Once it's initiated, it will go to manager, source center manager, project manager, controller, composition partner. Now, how do we create a spend authorization? We create spend authorization. And I hope you don't mind, we start talking about some different topics in between. If please do let me know. No problem. Started. Let's say this spend authorization is for a week. Description asking approval for mine expenses. Business purpose. It was a corporate visit, customer visit, let's say customer. And then you can create this business purpose here. Business instance. Maintain business purpose. What was the purpose of it? Conference visit, corporate visit, client visit, gather, dinner with client, internal meeting. That you can create all this business purpose here. Reimbursement payment type, how this would be reimbursed to back to the employee. Check our Digi deposit. Let's say our Digi deposit. Justification for this. We are going to have. We are going to have with the client coming from this. And therefore it's required. With distribution, you need attachment here. You will do it. If you want to add some lines here, the expense item, you say wine. I said wine. Here you can type alcohol also. Then, if you type Sula here, see, those keywords are displaying the things here. The moment see, I'll put this expense item. Text is appearing now. Hey user, please note that you cannot claim more than 2 borrows in expense report. Please do read coming into expense policies before submitting the expense report. Just giving a kind of hint to the user if they're doing the things. Per unit amount, let's say this is probably in $1,000. It's quite expensive. Budget date 23rd is a budget date memo for clients. If it's billable to the clients, of course you will not do that, but in case this is the thing. You will click on this billable thing, cash advance requested. Talk about this later on. People who travel to US, other countries, or from US to India or other countries, they need cash also. They need some forex also, apart from your corporate credit card. And forex card, you need some cash also because at some places cards doesn't work. To be better, in an emergency situation you use cash, although companies don't prefer. 70-30 ratio they give hasn't even traveled from the company side to own side. Great, they would have given you per diem some kind of cash in advance that you could use it. No, not yet. I didn't get that wonderful. I would wish to. I think I will be. And even that is an international. What to is? Not click on this cache. It was just, these are the calls into Word text and submit. This has to be approved by the manager as part of business process. Thank you. Thank you. This is another version. And they will do it. Any doubts? Question from this one? All good. This is approved now. Stop proxy. And see create expensive board. And you see this expressive from scratch, or you want to copy a previous expense report, or you can go with the third option, which will expand on search. This will be just click and see. It will populate the details asking. Approval for loan expenses. The date here, customer visit company call center, additional work text. If you want to add taxes to it, that's fine. Otherwise, it is. Now you are seeing different tax here. Talk about that too, where it comes. Now we have attachment tab. If you have all the receipts of the expenses. You have purchased wine. Now you are claiming that expense. You attach the receipts of that, and it's an expense line we can add here. Expense item will just type solo here. My total amount should come here. I will just say 1,000. Oh shit. Memo is this. If you want to add a memo, that's fine. For center work text, it will be delivered to the client. That's fine. And this is coming from this spend authorization lines. If you attach the receipt, click on this checkbox here. Attach the receipt, otherwise you have to submit. There is one error looks which is good. Add a payment, election bill for expense. My goodness. This brings me a topic to discuss. What happens is when we onboard a new employee in Workday, we ask them to set up their bank account details in their profile. Their salaries can be processed to that particular account. Similarly, under the payment election, we have to add one more account for getting an reimburse expense report. Either you can use the same account or a different one. As for this one, it's not configured. What do we say start proxy? I'm sure this is done for Logan McLean or Tesla. Use Teresa Serrano here. And why it's not coming for Taris's round? Because that was requested by Baller and then approved by his managed. Taris's round, it don't raise anything. Just use the first option. Let's keep the details here. These are the credit card transactions which she had used and they're reflecting now in the system as part of the information. Integration setup. Let us hit here. We will continue this expense for tomorrow as we need to discuss a lot about this. Then I have to show the supplier portal also. Many more things I need to show you. Under add you got credit card transactions. if you want to add. Here the expense line travel booking records. Quick expenses or new expense. I'll just a new expense here. Now an expense item. This is earlier at 1000 and here's a text here. This expense report is, and I'll show the payment election in a second. This is my expense report, which is approved. Is no personal expense, private is a purchase. Use dollars, cash about the price, this reimbursement is 1000 US dollars. Now, if you see the expense report, you can check the accounting first. View accounting and it's hitting to 60, 80, 50 and employee expense people again how it is reflecting to account posting in the. If you see here, this is an operational transaction and for that we go to view account. Post changes set. Send. And you should see an expense here. Expense advance, expense payable, expense pay receivables, all those things you have as accounts here. And that's how the system is driving these accounts. Zoom in that. Expense payable to suppliers 2.5.2 that. Starting the accounting. I put relations to and put expense payable. Let's go back to this expense report. That was in accounting. Now click on 3 dots. Expense report. You can pay it also or you can print it. If you print it, it's a lot of the data. Once it's printed, it will let us know. Expense report. You can copy this, you can change this, you can cancel this. Just say hit pay here. This will initiate a settlement or an engine to process this payment and it says pay expense. Report question mark. I want to know again. Users will not have access. That let me create expense report and next moment I will pay it only the administrators or expense report specialist or specialist would have the access to process the payment. I have to have this line here. Alit. I hope everything is finally. This is refresh expense payment. This is done. Payable group print advice work area. And these are the expense payments. You can print advices here. Print advices refresh. Refresh, refresh. This is done and this will be pivot advice that will be sent to the. These are the details that normally comes to the inbox after inbox that this is how it's going to be paid. Expensive number and 1000 would be paid to you. This is the statement account on which it will be processed. All good till here. If you see the expense report, It's the expense report was this total was in 1000. And see, this is paid here. We have sent this expense report again. Once it's paid, you can copy this and you can print this again. Now let's talk about the payment. Election for that go to this person profile. Or your profile also doesn't matter. Go to view profile, click on actions and go to personal data, maintain payment elections. And here you can see for expense payments we have defined this account UNJFK hour 341 to be used to get the reimbursement for the expense reports. Now click on add it here. Actually, let's see here. Because we can mention the country, the currency. Payment type is direct deposit. That would come to joint checking account and the balance. If you type payment election here, the payment election report here. Worker payment election report, add payment elections, maintain payment elections, add elections. And you can see joint checking here. You can add one more here for this. And for this CAT checking, you can add the details account if it's saving. This mention your saving account number details here and done. Any doubts, questions to here? I'll look. Request for code. I'm not. You want to give us a heads up. You're into this. How does it work in your system? And if you can explain something above. RFQs, sorry, I didn't get you what exactly. The name is the request for. Code. Let me brief you about that. When we need something in bulk or regular items. Also, we directly don't reach out to this one single supply. We send the quotations to different suppliers that, hey, buddy, I need a 10 desktops of Dell. It went to 10 different suppliers and I asked them to give me a quotation. That sent me the quotation for this configuration in RAM memory screen size. Lease guarantee warranty. Who would be giving you the best deals? They would be sending you quotations that I can provide you this Dell desktop in, say, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, 40 bucks that they will mention the quotation and based on the quotation, we will select one supplier. They send the quotations, I'll select the supplier and I'll award the purchase order to that supplier. And then again the same process will start. I'll send a purchase order. I'll issue it, get to supplier. Supplier will send the items advance ship notice acknowledgement. I'll get a receipt and pay back to the supplier. Clear on this? Yes, yes. And if you want to see this here also, request for quotations, head start document preparation. Define the supplier list, send out RFQ, receive responses, select the supplier, advise unsuccessful suppliers, and many more. And then, accordingly, you will have the purchase orders and then same process. Now what we do is, we will check the BP press 4, fourth event for definition. initiation goes to action, and then the controller. I think controller we have already assigned. Let's check this supplier context, which is solo also for our company. And if you want to see the task name, just 3 dots this process policy view. Create request for quote is ALQ, that's the task name. Now I'll just check my company, choose LCC, and you can go to roles. I need to check the paracontract specialist. It's there. You tell the Serrano, the controller. You already tell the Serrano. Now go with the task. Create request for code. Company, let's put company here. You can define these RFQ types. Just go to this open new tab. Just type RFQ. Then request for code. This is a free. You can define a different request types. Again, this will come from the client only. I'll just set a direct request for quote and RFQ. Title new RFQ for towers. In currency which you want to get this price quotation from suppliers USD, you can create an ad hoc RFQ or copy details from existing RFQ if it exists. You have already created a one or copy RFQ from existing document. Just use our supplier contract requisition purchase order you want. Let's say we have a 296 for 297. I'll use 4296 here. You can choose from these 3 categories here. And now you will come to this page. Select the line here. We are ordering one because in that queue it was already one there. We will select it here. You put the terms and conditions of this request for the queue. Quotee, you give a document date. Let's give it a 1st of October. Then you get started. Of this recognition is 2nd of October. It will end this RFQ by 31st of October. You need to have the quotes before that date. You can mention the time, also ending time, time zone of the start and end date. Currency sourcing buyer is Bala. Exclude our target price. If you want to actually target price, that's fine lines. It's a good or service that you want quotation for. I'm looking for goods. Line here, then item you can say sport shoes here. In that view it was for shoes. It is for shoes. You want 10 quantities, each cost 100 bucks. This is full in 1000. Target prices. Let's say we are targeting for 95 here. Requested delivery date. Let's say by 31st should be delivered response. Required. You need a response from the supplier. Yes, you want a price from the supplier. Yes, need time. How many days they can send the quotations to us or items to us, which is this cost center coming by default here additional. Work days if you want to add memo bid requirement. In order to bid different types, I can say they have to give me a yes or no. Can they deliver? Response required, yes. You can add more here. Sequence number 2. Do you deliver this? To provide your certification number, you get a text. It's also required. Then propose suppliers for the proposal. Plus I can add some suppliers here. Let's add 2 suppliers, supplier by supplier group. I'll just add one hello here. Second one is, let's say this is protect. And this is on this. They have defined this one is a supplier, port to print and boom. I need something that we can say by email here. Oh, that was anything. I am choosing. One more supplier is Jindal Steens here, and we will send this by email. If you want to override from the default procurement email. If you want to override some other email addresses, you can do that as this. I want to say Jane Broker, hello. This one, I just want to say Jindal Steens. Whatever this bit requirement, what is the bit requirement? Let's add in this SQL number 1. And then you can add a document or line to the supply. I just say requirement is supplier should be from manufacturing, from new running. And that should be text. That's all required. Yes. Remember they can give attachment. If you have any attachments which you want to add, it's fine. So when there is a Sereno for review and approval with proxy. Act as Sereno. We will look at this and she will look at this. As a supplier contract specialist, if all the details are correct, she will have a look at it and all looks good. And she will approve it. Once this is approved here. What options we got? We got cancel, change, copy and post. Now we are posting this quotation in the market or to the suppliers. We will say post posting memo, posting this RFQ, get new quotations. Posting date is this. You can see last posted date of this RFQ is this date here which it has been posted. Once it's posted, you can create RFQ response. Suppose you have received the responses. From which supplier you have received the response? From how you tell the complications of Jindal seals. I'll just say the conditions I received at this time, recorded by who's recording this response. Let's say Teresa Sereno. And you can put the shipping terms, what the shipping terms they have agreed to. Britain and Bora Virgin shipping method is ground shipping. They will send it by response memo. Yes, we do deliver the shoes. And see here the response. For any how many you can deliver. Response information, yes, they can deliver 10 response price I targeted for 95. Let's say they can deliver it at 99. Lead time, they can do it 10 days. Response, oh yes, we are the best market and their attachments, if they have. Send their response. This is what they can provide that will be here with. Responses. Supply should from you only text response. Yes, we are responsible. We are financier. You can add multiple text questions. Yes, no. and you hit submit or something in lines here, which you can look up. This was the bit responsive to fill in. Can they deliver the shoes? Just provide your certificate number. Certificate number is GST that. As you can see, approved posted response address is 1. Now you can again create RFQ award, create RFQ response, compare RFQ responses or create RFQ response again for the other supplier. What was the digital steals? This time stamp Teresa Sereno. Shipping terms, they are again fit on board original shipping method ground shipping. Then they can provide, and they'll provide is 97. Lead time in this 5 days, they can provide. Yes. Then same attachments here and that's yes. Yes, we are GST, number GST. Number that with responses. You see, yes. If you have any, this is also done. Now say response. Entries became 2 here. And now, if you see here, you've got proposed suppliers, this bid requirement. Now, if you want to compare RFP responses. Supply Hello Telecom. This point is this. See, clearly you can see who is putting in 99, 90, 70 here. Typo error. Don't worry about it. But you can see here the details for 999, 70 that. It's mentioned here. Then you can select both of them if you want, or one of them hit. Select responses. To compare and lowest score per line is general steals. That is spreading in 97. $2 difference is there compared to the other suppliers. See, it's amazing. I love this. Response for any 10, target price was 95. Our target price was 95. This is the closest one. 97. $2 gain difference is 2.11%. Amazing. 9 responses you can see here. Specialty complications is for 99 and it's 4 extra what we're targeting for and it's this is the nearest one. And then you can see all the details here with the deliverable. Now, once it's done, you can see general sales was the closest one. You can award it now. Create RFP award. You can award it to both of them or just one of them. I will say general steals here. Awarded. Is this award type by supplier contract or a purchase order? I will say purchase order. Select here an unit of measures, each and ship to contact person. Bill to contact. Person all details we have seen in purchase orders. Memo award reason. Lowest price. The lowest price can get award reasons also. Maintain procurement award reasons. And there you can add multiple things. Then auto submit award outcome for approval. And then you look at the details. We are giving 10 quantities to the supplier because they are the best nearby location. Also all those things. A price was 95, response was 97. It costs this sum up. You would have been generated. Now, if you look at this only somewhere here, you should see a PO also. We have this array RFQ. I want this award here. Just put in the award. Click on this in a new tab. We got PO here. Again, this PO is in progress. Based on the business process, Rachel Knight has to approve this. Start part. I will look at the details here. Approved. By call center manager, all that person. It's that call center manager, no one has been assigned to this call center. What do? Let's say reassign task. He doesn't have access, it opens his box. Do you want to cover this? But now it's the same process. You create a purchase order, you issue this to a supplier. Supplier will send the items. You will get a receipt. After receipt, they will send the supply invoice. You create the same invoice in system and then you process those supply invoices. Do you want to see this complete cycle again, or you are clear on that? Oh, once for this one. Sure, no worries. What to? This was a view we assigned to our data system. This is done to do boxing. You got the PO? Approved. This is approved now. Once the PO is approved, the supplier will never come to know that what items you need. Have to issue this to a supplier. Don't finish. Once it's issued, there is a repo copy here if you want to see it. Same thing will not copy or close. This will click the receipt. We have fully received item, tracking number. You can create one tracking number or just leave it for now. We will see full items here. Submit. She doesn't have access to KT. The invoice from this PO. What to? Go back to bar account and say stop. Restart is considered by period of server chip offices. And we say point purchase orders. And the 4.8, we have already done the receipt. You could do other things also. Supply invoice. You can get a return also if you want. Or just get a supply invoice. And we can see the same details here. We can take a bit of text here. Simping quantities at 90 cents. Submit. Once an invoice is created, we go further approvals, review process, and everything. Match approved unpaid. Then 3 dot supplier invoice. If he doesn't have access for that, you have to now to pay the supplier invoices. We have to see the security. We will go to secure off. And maybe we need an access here. Settlement run. Let's type that. Create settlement run. Create settlement, run use security. And you want to process the payroll, and you need an excellent settlement specialist, and you need a data entry specialist. What we will do, we assign all these roles to you. I'm going to give it a 0.1. Now we have a couple of rules. See some things which is already there. I'll shoot the AFX. Thank you. You assign all these roles as settlement specialist. Settlement specialist should work. Now what do? Go to a task that we call state settlement run. Put the company here. Companies all is. And I want to see those. Now it says you cannot process because we have not defined a bank routing rule for the settlement run. What do? Close this. Create bank routing rules for this company to process the payments. Oh, we're not defining a binding account for this. What is? Quickly create a bank account for this company. The task name is create a bank account. LCC. This will be bank account. A country for this, it will be India. I'll define the nations here, which is RLCC. Account opening date. Let's say first of this. Account currency, they accept all currencies. Finance distributions SDFC. I'll say was DFC code 438. Account number something something. Name an account LLC Private Limited. Target balance. Minimum balance they have to maintain 25,000. Bank statement format in which bank sent is PI2. All payment types are allowed. Additional usage and all these additional usage are also allowed. Let's set the check the cloud. We got this default payment account. All currency. Supply of name processing. Do supplier invoices. In order to select filters, we go to System Filters and I want to process all available. Expense reports and all available supplier invoices. Supplier invoices. You can choose multiple things here. Is applicable and I'll get here. You can see we got 5 transactions here, and if you want to see these 5 transactions, go to this detail section and these are the 5 transactions that we will be processing. Hallotech documentation payment is. This payment type is processed by cash. This is the payment amount. What we do, we go to back to summary and we will just hit process here. You can see this has been processed. Total payment processed from this workplace 10,9N. The integration go down in the background. It will check this 5 invoice transaction details and if we process the payment from our account to the supplier bank account. Now, if you want to see the supplier invoices, which are we process? 6 invoices have been processed totaling this much amount, and if you open these invoices, it will have 2 details. One says this is paid and the settlement run to which it has been paid. Let's see paid and the settlement run is here. This, we process the payments. Any doubt on this? No straightforward process. You don't have to worry about it. And ultimately, you will not be doing this in real life because this would be done by the end users. Typically, we will do this in and out on daily basis. You just need to know the process, how it gets done in the system. They will say, we will not see the payment types and all those things that. But you will not be doing something in your life for the career. The target goal is to join the company on a partner side and become a certified consultant. That should be your end goal always. Why? For any reason, if you want to join the company. Not getting it, then the customer side, but always try for the partner form. See it now. What about you? It's good, this is how we paid. And try this on our own then. Then it will be more. It will work. Clear, I can see. See, I did many tasks just in 30 minutes. You are doing it in a flow, but for us to do it, will have to write from our own. Then only get better ideas. You have to do practice. Just go through that and now. Yes, let me show you some other fantastic things. Mass close purchase orders. Mass close procurement documents. Through that you can close purchase orders in bulk. Request name RLCC, PO close, company RLCC. Document type E, you want to close the purchase orders requisition or supplier contract. I want to close purchase orders and you'll say you want to see close. You want to close the POs which are fully invoiced, fully received and fully paid. Yes, I want to do that. Or if you don't want to do that, just keep it open here. And if you have any supplier, you can put it here. Based on that criteria, I just got one PO here which is 4298 and let's submit. And this will be a part of the business process event. Review procurement of mass action. This is the thing, you can put a comment here and upload it. Because of this is done and that PO is closed now. If you just click on this, you can close multiple POs in one go rather than going through one by one. And I think you can schedule it also. Schedule. Automatic updates from purchase order acknowledgements, schedule purchase. Order. Close lines for receiving schedule. Purchase order creation from contract installments. You can do it. Many things here on the contract set also schedule issue purchase orders. You can issue the purchase orders also. Run frequency daily records and I told you the key thing, just type view security for a securable item. Type the keyword there. Supplier, purchase order, receipts, supply invoice that and it will give you a number of tasks available related to that word. Request name, Relux or issue. Company's RCC. Schedule is on daily basis. Start time is 10 p.m. every day. As for GM time zone. And this should have 11:31. You can mention the further criterias here. It should be from hello supplier, supply key supply group, exclude supplier list. You can mention the purchase order time also. It should be one-time purchase orders. Issue option should be email. That's how you should issue it. Group purchase orders for printing. If you want to make any changes to it, you can do it. Click on 3 dots. It should be a process. Added should occurrences. Fire time to override is, let's say this 2T4 at 10 p.m. It should be 90 p.m. What's the issue here? We can do it on the next day, I believe. Let's delete this. And we can do it again. Should we choose orders? delete records. Is RLCC supplier. A lot of locations, person or type. One-time purchase issue option which has an email in it. Schedule. One's now started. Third first. That will define it. Just for one thing here, do it quickly. Because we have to get it approved. Nope. This is where it says keep all the things as it is. I can change here. I just want to do this quickly here. Many more things, it's endless. It's all about your practice passion. That the course did that we get no, in that it is there, the self-help videos. It is step by step where to go to do yes. This is we start box. Yes, unfortunately it not happen at 9:15. You have to change the process time here. Salon. Go to my 9. This is approved now, but we have crossed that 9:15 deadline. Otherwise, it would have issued this PO and the status would have been emailed. That's all you want to know. And yes, the thing I want to discuss is matching rules. Set its create a player account matching rule set first of all. See this? Name of matching rules. We have match exception, match condition rule. If you just click on and it here we can add a matching booster. Remember when we see our supply invoice. It has a status of match. It is matching with certain documents, purchase orders, supply, invoice, requisitions and everything. And if there's any difference, it will say unmatch or match. It will be applicable for consolidation corporate. Who said companies are there and having this, they are following this matching booster and it just calculate. How does it calculate? I'll show you exception. Reason is this only. Matching rule is price difference for your supplier, invoice price difference for your supplier. Invoice drive logic is if the line unit cost amount is greater than or equal to 5 or MR invoice total and PO total invoice percentage is greater than equal to 10. Then throw this error. Then we have condition rule, also price difference PO. This is the condition. Maximum retail invoice PO line unit. Cost amount variance is greater than 5% or invoice total. In PO total amount, percent variance is 10%. In that case, it should be this price difference. Pure supply invoice. Match exception. Reason is price variance. Condition rule name is this. Matching rule. Set is this JMS match rule, which is here JMS match rule here. And then it will say it's not match because of this reason here. That's all, nothing fancy about this. We just create as per the client requirement. Again, all this information comes from the client. We just tell them, this is how you can configure them and not configure them. Is it cancelled? I'll try to find a document for you guys on this matching rule set also. Now this is fine. I think I'm good. I think I'm good for now. And I'll be sharing more procurement documents to you guys. I have your email addresses. I'll be sharing that to Cloud Foundation, or you have. Send an email to me and I'll share those documents to you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.